तमस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3. Text number 27. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते। Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. So yes, all the activities are being carried out by the material nature under the direction of Supreme Lord. We think that I am directing all the activities. No. You just think like that. But actually actual working direction is of the Supreme Lord. You are simply in illusion that it is happening because of my direction. So neither by our direction nor by our endeavor all these things are happening. It's all by Krishna's direction. So it's a false ego because of which we think that I am the doer. But no, material nature is doing it. So living entity is very minute. It cannot control the material nature. But Lord, by his Maya potency, gives the illusion to living entity that living entity is the doer. So in this way, we are all in illusion. And why this illusion has come? Because we want it. Just like someone wants to be the king, then what will be done? Those people among their friends, they will decide, okay, I will be the king, you will be the queen, you become minister, you become that, like that. So they are deciding among themselves. And for the time being, they keep themselves in the play or illusion of being the king, queen, minister, and all that. So because they wanted to be the king, so they played the game accordingly. Similarly, we wanted to be the Lord, controller, which is not possible in a normal sense. So Lord arranges the illusion in this world so that we can feel like being controller. So that is how we all are covered by Maya in this world. And under the influence of false ego, we think that I am the controller, I am the doer. So our original constitutional position is to be servant. Just be the servant of the Supreme Lord. So you may question that even while being servant, you have to do the activities. Activities will be carried away by the Supreme Lord. We just have to offer our endeavor, offer our consciousness. Activities will be done by the material nature under direction of the Supreme Lord. Being the servant doesn't, the important part of being the servant means keeping our consciousness as the servant of the Supreme Lord, servant of all the devotees. See, Prime Minister, he is also serving the country, but his consciousness is not like the servant. And some servant may also be working in some shop. He knows that I am the servant in this shop. Because his consciousness is to become boss, isn't it? So Prime Minister is serving the citizens, but he thinks himself as the great person. And even the servant who is a small person, he wants to be the great person. So everyone is serving in this world, but no one is keeping the consciousness of servant. Everyone wants to keep the consciousness of master. That is the problem. So that's how material world is designed, that everyone feels that consciousness because of our bad desires. So now we should change the desire sincerely. That yes, I want to be the servant. Avoid, keep away this consciousness of being the master. Everyone is serving, Prime Minister is serving, a serving servant is also serving, but everyone is keeping the consciousness of master. Even the servant who is doing such a low level service, he keeps the consciousness of master. On the other hand, in the spiritual world, everyone keeps the consciousness of being the servant, even if they are very great personality. Nanda Maharaj feels that I am the servant of everyone. Shiva feels that I am the servant of everyone. Like that, everyone feels being the servant. Being the servant is the highest position for the pure hearted devotees. So, that is the consciousness we should develop. I am servant. And servant means then you serve, not serve your mind. Everyone in this world is serving. Everyone in this world is serving. No one is without service. But whom you are serving? You are serving your mind. You are serving your mind means you are simply increasing your bondage in this material world. That is not our constitutional position to be the servant of mind. Our constitutional position is to become servant of Krishna. So in that position we are supposed to keep ourselves, being the servant of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And servant being keeping such consciousness means do the service. It's not yes, I keep the consciousness. Anyone asks you, who are you? I'm Krishna's servant. But in practical behavior, nothing like that. So then it is not right. Then it is like duplicity. No, you are understanding that highest positions to be the servant. You want to keep the consciousness of the servant, then serve devotees. Serve the Supreme Lord. Don't try to increase your own material assets and well-being. Just serve Krishna. Offer everything for Krishna's service. So in this way, we should cut down this bad consciousness due to false ego and keep the good consciousness of being the servant, not being the doer or master, being the servant. And that way, we are but much better situated in our human life to attain the perfection. So yes, we should understand that I am not the servant, I am not the master, I am the servant. Mera manda. I am not the master, I am the servant. And function in that position, then only will be comfortable and happy. Read further.
Two persons, one in Krishna consciousness and the other in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions.
Wait, see, Duryodhana is fighting, Arjuna is fighting, both are doing the same activity. But Duryodhana is doing it with his selfish consciousness. Arjuna is fighting with Krishna consciousness. So they are doing the same activity, but because their consciousness is different, it's going to offer you different result. Duryodhana remains bound in this world, Arjuna goes back to God. So like that. So we are supposed to work in Krishna consciousness. And working in Krishna consciousness means offering everything in Krishna's service, offering all the results in Krishna's service, offering all the works as per Krishna's direction. That is working in Krishna consciousness. In India, everyone can say that yes, I am Krishna conscious, but no, it should be visible. Read further.
The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature, which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna.
Wait. So, Because we don't know that someone else is operating my body, we think that I am operating my body. No, someone else is operating your body. And because you are not able to perceive that person, so you think that I am operating my body. Just like two people are fighting, just imagine. Two people are fighting with one very, very powerful, strong person. Okay? Two people are fighting. But both are not able to see each other. They are fighting with one strong person. Just imagine the situation. They are fighting with one strong person, or both of them are trying to lift one very huge stone, and both are not able to see each other, and they are successfully lifting it. What they will think?
I have done.
I am doing it, because they are not able to see each other, and the another person will also think I am doing it. So like that, in all activities, Supreme Lord is involved. Our walking, our talking, our eating, everything. Supreme Lord is involved. We are not able to see him. So we think that I am the doer. Now let's consider the case that fine, I am not seeing him, but I am realizing that he is there in all activities. Without his support, I cannot even blink my eyelid. Without his support, you cannot blink your eyelid. He is required everywhere. So when we understand that he is there in support all the time, without his support, I cannot do anything. So when this understanding is there, then I'm very much grateful. Naturally, the gratitude will come for the Supreme Lord that he is offering so much support to me to accomplish so many things. Naturally, the gratitude will come. And when that gratitude is there, then we want to please him by some service. So So when we recognize the Supreme Lord is involved in all activities, naturally the attitude of serving Him, pleasing Him comes in our heart. And that's how we will begin devotional service. So to understand that Supreme Lord is involved in every activity, it motivates us to practice devotional service. On the other hand, if you think that I am the doer, then you are simply increasing your false ego and you will become rebellious against God. So it's important that we should realize that Supreme Lord is there in my every activity. Wait, read now.
The person in false ego takes all credit for doing everything independently, and that is the symptom of his nescience. He does not know that his gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such, his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of Krishna in Krishna consciousness. The ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Rishikesh, or the master of senses of the material body, for due to his long misuse of the senses in sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by the false ego, which makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna.
Wait. So basically, my subtle body, my gross body is belonging to Krishna. Then I should be offering all the activities for Krishna's pleasure because anyway it belongs to him ultimately. So that is one point Srila Prabhupada is highlighting that by understanding that everything belongs to Supreme Lord, the gratitude comes and naturally devotional service comes to please him. And on the other hand, ignorant person, he doesn't know about the Supreme Lord and simply engages in sense gratification. And in that materialistic false ego, he just carries on without his relationship with Krishna. So those who are devotee, they know about the presence of the Supreme Lord and function accordingly, and non-devotees, they do not recognize the presence of the Supreme Lord and continue to remain bound in the material activities. Next verse. प्रकृतेर्गुण सम्मूढ़ा संजन्ते गुण कर्मसु तान कृत्स्न विदो मंदान कृत्स्न भिन्न विचालयेत्.
28 we have to cover.
Is it?
तत्त्ववित्तु
तत्तवित्तो महाबाहो गुण कर्म विभागयो गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्त इति मत्वा न सज्जते. Read translation.
One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, Almighty arm, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitive results.
Yes. So if you know that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, if we know that Lord is in full control, we know that everything is done by the Supreme Lord. If you know this, then why you will engage in some gratification? So knowing means applying that knowledge. You know that cigarette is injurious to health, but still you smoke. That means you don't have any knowledge. Knowing means applying the knowledge. Knowing means applied knowledge. Okay. So if you know about the Supreme Lord, you will not engage in sense gratification. If you know that there is a fresh food available for me to eat, you are not going to eat the food from last night. Very simple. If you know. If you don't know that there's fresh food available and you're hungry, you will be satisfied in eating last night food because you don't know. But if you know that fresh food is available, better you will eat that. So similarly, if you know that Supreme Lord is there and my relationship with Him is of loving service, then why I will engage in sense gratification? If I know this. So because people are forgetful of the Supreme Lord, His potency, His functioning, so they think the sense gratification can give me happiness and they absorb themselves in it. So better to know about the Supreme Lord and keep ourselves away from sense gratification. So how to keep ourselves away from sense gratification? Don't do any work or don't do any activity which attracts sense gratification. Here Srila Prabhupada is saying work in devotion and work for fruitive results. So work for fruitive results means working for sense gratification. Just like someone may be studying, why? To get good marks. Another person will be studying, why? Just to get knowledge. Both are doing the same activity. One is just trying to fulfill his selfish motive. Another is just sincere in his study. Like that. So we should not be working for fruitive results. We should be working for devotion to the Supreme Lord. So, how to recognize whether someone is working in devotion or working for fruitive results? So, by observing his lifestyle, it will be clear whether you are working for devotion to Supreme Lord or for fruitive results. It can be understood. So, those who are more of the absolute truth, they do not engage themselves in sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. So we all should be working in devotion for Krishna, not for fruitive results. So how to recognize that you are working for what you are not working for fruitive results. You are only working for Supreme Lord. How to recognize that I'm not working for fruitive results. So basically our lifestyle shows it up that whether you are working for sense gratification or you are working for Krishna. If we become very much disturbed when something happened to the fruits, for example, like cook may be cooking in the hotel. He is working only for fruitive results. A mother may be cooking for the Supreme Lord. She is working in devotion. Both are doing the same activity. One is working in devotion, another is working for fruitive results. So, if you are working on fruitive result, it will be sense gratification. If you are working in devotion, it's devotional service. So work in devotion is higher than working for fruitive results. Again, I will repeat. Work in devotion is higher than the working for fruitive results. People in illusion think that without the fruits, how I will survive. No, we should have faith upon Krishna and work for Krishna, not for sense gratification. So in this way, we should be working in devotion for Krishna's pleasure. Purport read.
The knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in the material association. He knows that he is a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and that his position should not be in the material creation. He knows his real identity as part and parcel of the Supreme, who is eternal bliss and knowledge, and he realizes that someone or the other he is entrapped in the material conception of life.
Wait. So how much just by knowing the absolute truth, Supreme Lord, one knows everything. That is described in the section which we just read. He knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. He knows his position. So yes, by knowing the Supreme Lord, we understand our position very clearly. Just like by knowing the sun, you understand how you look like or what dress you are wearing, everything. But if the sun is not there, you don't see anything. It's like that. By realizing the Supreme Lord, one knows everything about himself. Read further.
In his pure state of existence, he is meant to dovetail his activities in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He therefore engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness and becomes naturally unattached to the activities of the material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary.
Correct. Yes, to the degree we are engaging in the service of Krishna, to that degree our heart is pure, to that degree we will not be absorbed in the sense objects of this world. You will keep yourself away from the sense relatory activities. Read further.
He knows that his material condition of life is under the supreme control of the Lord. Consequently, he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions, and he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three different features, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Tattvavid. For he knows all his own factual position is relationship with the Supreme.
Hmm. So he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions which he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. All kinds of material reaction. They may be negative, but he considers them to be the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So the one who knows Supreme Lord, his consciousness becomes very pure. His thoughts become very much devotional, and so devotional that something negative has happened in his life and he accepts it as mercy of the Supreme Lord. So Vidura, he offered his whole life to serve the king of Hastinapur. But Duryodhan, he just kicked him out when he was old. So it is a very negative situation that someone who is less, who is just like a small child in front of him, and he is insulting him. But Vidura, he did not become disturbed. He felt that fine, he has removed me out of the kingdom now. So he accepted it as mercy of the Supreme Lord. He didn't felt that what is this? I am doing everything for the protection of this kingdom, and in spite of all my good endeavors, I am I am mistaken. But the one who is actually doing mistakes, Duryodhan, who is so selfish. He is becoming or enjoying the kingship of the Hastinapur kingdom. And I am the one who offered the whole life for guiding properly. I am being kicked out. It's all happening something negative. But Vidura did not think as negative. He thought that, fine, this is Krishna's mercy. And he felt that in that negative situation, what best he can do in the service of Krishna. And then he decided to visit different holy places. So it was completely negative, but Vidura felt that this is my opportunity now to visit so many holy places and to visit Dwarika where Supreme Lord is residing. So in this way, devotee doesn't become disturbed. He considers everything to be the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And this is not just one example, many examples. Boy Narada, his mother died. He just burned the dead body of the mother in the house. That means she was inside the house and she died. What he did? He just burned the whole house. He burned the whole house. And mother dead body of the mother will be burned, which has to be done final rites. So he burned the whole house and that's how the mother's body got burned. And who did it? Small boy Narada. Unimaginable. That how come a small boy Narada, I mean, he is getting such detachment. It's a very big thing that your mother has died and you burn the whole house. It's a very big thing. And that too by a small child. Very big thing. But he did. So did I. It's not that this child was a son of a great Brahmana. No, this child was son of a maid servant. How he got so much detachment? Because he associated with great sages. Because of that divine association, although he was a small child, he became so much spiritually elevated that when the mother died, he didn't felt it as the some unjustified happenings in his life. No, he felt it as mercy of the Supreme Lord. He felt that if my mother would not have died, I would have been bound by her affection. But now she has left the body, so now no more material affection. Now I am free to offer my love and devotion fully towards the Supreme Lord. This was his consciousness. It's not, we cannot expect such high consciousness from a small child. But this was the consciousness. And that's how in that very life he practiced Krishna consciousness and attained the shelter of the Supreme Lord. So we should consider all the negative situations in our life to be the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Lord wants something to be done which otherwise would not be possible. So in this way, one should realize the Supreme Lord and, and offer our services to Him. So realizing Supreme Lord happens in three phases: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So these are three levels. Lowest is Brahman, high, middle is Paramatma, and the highest is Bhagavan. So the one who knows Supreme Lord as Bhagavan, he is called as Tattvavid, or who knows the position of Supreme Lord. So in this way, we should understand very clearly that Lord is the doer, I just have to offer my consciousness to endeavor for it, but ultimately Supreme Lord is doer. And because Supreme Lord is the doer, I am just an insignificant entity to offer my consciousness in the service of the Supreme Lord. So I should work in devotion. Why work for fruitful results and sense gratification? So one should work in devotion for Krishna, not for fruitful results. Your activity may remain the same, but the consciousness of doing that activity should change. It should be for Krishna, not for selfish fruitful results. Next verse. प्रकृतेर्गुणसम्मूढा सञ्जन्ते गुणकर्मसु तान् कृत्स्नविदो मन्दान् कृत्स्नविन्ना विचालयेत्. Read.
Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached, but wise should not unsettle them. Although these duties are inferior due to the platform's
Performance.
performance lack of knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah, so devotional activity is higher than fruity activity. Fruity activity is inferior compared to devotional activity. Why? Because fruity activity will bind you in this world. Devotional activity will bind you to Krishna's world. So that option is better. Do devotional activity and get bound to Krishna and go to Krishna's abode. Why that option is better? Because in this option there are no miseries ultimately. But in the first option, where we are simply trying to do sense gratification, we will get miseries one after another. So devotional activity is higher than material activity, or material activity is inferior compared to devotional activity. So a devotee, he doesn't disturb the people who are into inferior activity. He doesn't disturb them. So why he doesn't disturb, that is the question now. He doesn't disturb because if he disturbs, if he tells them anything, they are not going to listen because they are in ignorant position. They are not going to listen. So if they are not going to listen, then we have no other alternative than to wait till they listen. That can be done. Because we did not listen, we continued for 84 lakh such of species since millions of years. So even God becomes helpless when living entity is not ready to listen. So, so then ignorant people start feeling like I am the doer and become attached. So those who are wise, those who are intelligent, they should not disturb these low consciousness people, but behave in such a manner that they develop high consciousness. Read about 40.
Persons who are unknowledgeable falsely
We are
identify.
going to read the purport next class. I think time is up. Yes, next class will do it. शिव प्रभुपाद की जय संवेद गौर भक्त की जय गौर हे राधे
ಎರಡು ಇಂಟು 100 ಪೇಪರ್
No, 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 no.